I think we'll make a soft start, as Chirantan have just said. Right, guys. So this year we were not planning to do any more webinars. However, we were getting continuous bombarded with requests regarding this slowdown which has been happening globally, and people are worried. I mean, in last 12 months we have helped about 270 students successfully. We have placed them, or they've upskilled with us. Gone into the new profiles or new jobs, and we have had repeated requests in the last 1 month to actually come up with or just give some tips, basically how to survive this recession, and what else we could do. And the people who are really aware that things are happening in the market, they can even take advantage. When other people are scared of the current situation, current scenario, it is a good time for us to prepare and just go with the full force. If you know what I mean. So on that note, I welcome you all, and let's start with 1 second. Sorry, I think it's technology. My screen is frozen. So this is our today's agenda, guys. We'll be we'll be talking just talking about our profiles, and we'll be just talking about AgileBA, why we are different, and we will be looking at the current market again. That's a hot topic. How recession proof are we? What do we need to do? How do we need to position ourselves, basically, in order for us to take advantage while other people are scared? Okay, this could be a golden nugget or golden opportunity for a lot of us. Okay, and the reason I'm saying this, because I've survived a recession already. Okay, 2008, I was in the UK, newly graduated. I was looking for a job. And I was hoping, because of my prior experience in the IT industry with Hewlett-Packard and Dell computers, I was very, very confident that at least I will get a job of £40,000 in that time and region where I was in London. I've looked at other people like who were getting placed just before me, so I was pretty confident that at least I'll fetch £40,000. However, we know that in 2008, what has happened, guys? Okay. So I was, all my aspirations were hit really badly, and I was not even getting a job of even £25,000. Forget about £40,000. So I had to start it from scratch once again. Being a very experienced guy in my sector in that time, and I've seen that, and I've kind of after that I have I've said to myself, I promised myself I will never be in this situation again. Okay. So, and I mean, and the same threat is coming again, right, for all of us. However, me and Chirantan, we are very well equipped, and we have prepared ourselves. We have kind of put us in a safe zone, and the best way we could do at the moment. And we are ready to take on new opportunities. We are ready to take advantage of the market. When the chips are down, we are there, basically. Because we are well equipped. We have knowledge, right? So knowledge is your best friend, guys. Okay. And when things are not working, when there is no clarity in the market, if you can provide clarity, if you can provide assurance, and if you can deliver as well, then people will obviously, you will be the hot selling cake, as we all know, right? There is no hidden truth behind it, right? I mean, what else we can do? I mean, to beat recession, like we know the general things we need to do, like living within your means. People say all these things like reduce your outgoing, save an emergency fund, extra income source, so just do some side hustle and all those things. Invest for long term, protect your retirement, avoid market impulsive financial decisions and all that. But no one talks about like upscaling your knowledge. I mean, see, we guys, we are our best investment, right? Our best investment for us is within us, right? If we have the best knowledge, the most cutting edge knowledge of the market, then obviously, we'll never be out of the market, isn't it? And that is the key, guys. Okay, so let's just quickly have a look at my quick profile. And then I'll pass you to Chirantan just to discuss, share his experience and his profile on this hot topic of today, right? So I've been in this sector for last 20 plus years, guys, okay? And I've seen worked in startups, which are, I've built up startups. I've worked on those startups. I have invested in startups, my personal own money. I have had skin in the game. So I exactly know what is the return on investment means. And in this era, when chips are down, when market is very negative, investors are looking for the best. They're looking for the best bugs for their investment. Okay. So I've seen that all from startup to $1 billion company. I've handled projects up to 50 million pounds, roughly. Recently, I've just finished a project which was really huge. And I managed to save companies from like 500,000 pounds to 13 million pounds, basically, to the UK government. So that's just a very small snapshot of my profile. And I've been like certified like left, right, and center. As you can see, I've been into University of Oxford for various courses. I'm a founder member of Oxford Blockchain Technology. On that note, I think we'll send you these guys. I mean, if you leave us your emails, we'll send you these guys, these slides. You can have a look at them later on as well. And if you have any questions, you can start posting in the chat from now onwards. Just don't hold back. Right. So on that note, let me just pass you back to my colleague Chirantan, just to give us, enlighten us about his thoughts on this hot topic and talk about his profile as well, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sandeep, for that warm introduction. So hi, everyone. I'm Chirantan. Just a little bit about my profile. I have about 19 years of industry experience, of which I think 15 years has been into change management. So both me and Sandeep are big-time change practitioners. We are passionate. We live, breathe this topic. And so hopefully we should be able to throw and shed some light from our own practical experiences on today's hot topic as to how recession is globally impacting us, right? But in terms of the profile, I have kind of worked with organizations like JP Morgan, CRISIL, Nomura. I am a program manager with Citigroup. I'm a very passionate, program and portfolio manager. I'm a triple P. So you don't get too many triple Ps coming and talking about their experience. Triple P, for people who don't know, are people who have the PfMP, PgMP, and the PMP. I think both me and Sandeep have been into training people in the industry for quite some time. Our flagship course for hybrid BA is something that has gained a lot of momentum this year, Sandeep. We should talk to people about that as well. So that's a little bit about myself, and then we can kind of talk about the topic for today, which is how we can beat recession. What are the industry trends? So for that, maybe I would invite you, Sandeep, first to talk a little bit about what are the trends that you see in the market, what are the companies looking out for, and then maybe I can add on a little bit of my 2 cents.
Yeah. Thank you, Chirantan, for your warm introduction. Thank you for that. I think I've already started introducing about recession and my previous experience of my survival and the way I've seen other people have done it. I didn't have a clue in the first recession because I was very confident. I was newly graduated from a very good university with a very good marks. I did computer engineering honors, which is like the top degree in the UK. And it was a hot cake, and I got really good marks, like 2-1, so I got above 75% in my degree. So I was really, really confident that, people will be just, putting a red carpet out for me, just to come and join their firm. But, a few months down the line in that era, all my dreams were shattered. And then once I was out of that recession, I somehow survived. I have had 3 of my friends with me, guys, from India as well. They came over and to do the same sort of degree, and we have graduated together, all of us. And they couldn't survive. They just went back to India. One guy went to Australia. He just moved. He said, sorry, I couldn't find a job. And I just can't survive like this. And then a couple of other guys have moved back to India. And this is what is going to happen in this recession. The market, we have already seen the slowdown. There are a lot of jobs which are being advertised, I've seen, but people are not hiring. I was recently talking to one of my friends. She's a very tenured VP, in Pune, in India. So I was having a conversation with her a few days ago, and she was like, I'm looking to change my job. I'm looking for, a better profile and more money, obviously, with with another firm, and she works for a bank called Barclays. We are all are aware of, right? So, however, she said she has sent loads of CVs around. So she's not getting the enough attention to her CV. There are a few people calling her, but it's very hard to schedule an interview, right? So, and she had been to a few interviews and nothing has been materialized. And she's very, very matured and she's very tenured BA. She's been in the industry for last like 15 plus years. So she's very well experienced in the banking industry. And I was pretty surprised, the way it's hitting a country like India, because we see the trend in the US and UK with the Ukraine war. Things have gone haywire at the moment, and people are just struggling to pay the bills. The bills have gone skyrocketed. So there is a high recession and high interest rate at the moment at the same time. So, and things are going more expensive day by day. I mean, we were talking about it, me and some of my friends. So some of the bills for household have gone up to even £2,000 more every month, which is insane, right? How are you going to find that extra money, extra cash? So, I mean, looking at those things, and I've had some very similar conversation with one of my program manager friend from the US as well, and she was talking to me about the same, same trend which is happening in the US and Canada at the moment. So then me and Chirantan, we decided to do this webinar just to give you some more of our 2 cents of what we know and how, we think is the best survival technique at the moment for all of us. So Chirantan, do you want to add something to it?
Yes, of course. I want to add a little bit from my own experience. And like you, I have kind of seen 2 cycles of recession, and so we've survived it. So I think one of the most important thing is, of course, don't be completely afraid of it, right? So recession is a cyclical thing. So it would come and it would kind of go away as well. It is not here to stay forever. But it's very important that at the time it kind of surfaces, we are awakened to what are the opportunities and what are the trends in the industry, right? So, for example, a few trends, and this is no real secret, but I think it is worth kind of talking about this quite a bit, is that there is renewed focus and kind of talks about regulatory initiatives, right? So what happens is globally firms and industries, they kind of make a slowdown on discretionary investment, and they kind of focus more on, let's say, the mandatory changes, right? So it is important that we identify and try to move towards, gravitate towards industries which are more regulation focused, where because of regulations, banks, financial institutions would have to stay invested in it, right? So one is regulatory focus. The second is in terms of risk investments and compliance investments, right? So there would always be investments which the banks, financial institutions, IT firms, everyone is doing in terms of reducing their risk, right? And risk is not just financial risk by the moment, right? So the risk can be, and we've seen that a very recent phenomena or very recent trend in the industry, regulation which has happened is non-financial risk, right? So there is a lot of focus on non-financial risk, which is one, you can talk about IT risk, you can talk about conduct risk. So in terms of conduct risk, there is a lot of focus on the LIBOR retirement. So of course, people who've been in the industry would know that LIBOR has been retired. There are alternative, reinvestment risks, SFRs which are there. But apart from LIBOR, you would also have a lot of focus on cybersecurity. You would also have a lot of focus on other topics as well, right? So it's very important to associate with those topics. I think, Sandeep, one of the things that we are doing, even in the wake of recession, you see a lot of focus from banks and financial institutions are on 2 big initiatives, right? So one is the ESG and the climate change. I think there is a lot of focus on making companies net zero. So there is a focus on getting the net zero score. Now, what is net zero, right? How do we get to net zero, right? And these are things that people want to be a part of, but they don't know how to go about doing that, right? So I think this is something that we are doing as a surprise today as well. So we are talking about how AgileBA would launch a couple of topics. So I would not steal the thunder, but Sandeep, maybe you would talk about it. But again, continuing in the same vein, it is very important that you identify dual skills, right?
Correct.
So when we talk about, reducing or moving away from discretionary change and looking at regulatory change, it is also important that organizations are actually looking at investments which are regulatory focused, right? Now, what they are doing is, and even today, just before our webinar, we heard that there was a very popular investment bank which is cutting about 5,000 to 9,000 jobs globally over the next
Yeah,
few years. Of course, we've been following the news, and we've seen that this is not only just one of these organizations, but there is a systemic risk, right? And banks and financial institutions are doing a lot to reduce that systemic risk. How do they get back onto the curve, right? Now, when we talk about, in terms of dual skills, what people are doing are looking at dual employment skills. So, for example, gone are the days when you will have a pure play project manager on the roles, right? So people are looking at PMBA roles, right? Even in the organization where I am from, I think the industry has awakened to this from a very long time, right? That they are looking at, reducing the number of people, and with the people that they are keeping, not only at the top, right? I think this is something, Sandeep, that we have to talk about here in this webinar, is that this change or this dearth of roles being available is not only at the top level, it is going to impact and cascade towards all levels, right? So
correct.
people really at an analyst level, they would have competition as well, right? Because when they are going to bring in analysts, then when they are going to bring in, let's say, people whom they want to promote from an AVP to a VP, they are going to make very conscious decisions that, whom do we actually promote or whom do we want to stay with, right?
Correct.
So these people would be the ones who are dual skill. So one, it would be good to have domain knowledge. I think we definitely are, Agile BA is very focused on building domain knowledge. I think we're going to talk about that in just a while. Second is being techno functional, right? I think we've seen a lot of good value add if you're techno functional. So try to bring in your technology hat as well. It need not be that you're always a developer, but the appreciation of the tech architecture, the appreciation of the tech jargons, just becoming sheer tech savvy is going to be very important, right? Learning about what is a data mesh, how are we reducing the data quality gaps, being aware of business intelligence tools, being aware of AI, etc. That all plays a significant part of it, right? So I think these would be the things. But the big focus is on two things. One is reskilling, upskilling. So we found that people who have reskilled, who have upskilled, have actually held on to their jobs. Not only have they held on, but I think they have beat the recession. What do you think, Sandeep?
Yeah, 100%. And also, like, the kind of salaries they're fetching, even if they was we recently placed a guy who was one of our students with the, in the UK. So this guy was already fetching a very high salary, like, highest one in his for his particular profile. And he has already got like 10% hike at the top of it as well. Like the way he has positioned himself for the next few years, like he's been involved in the few projects because of our guidance. So we kind of guided him and we just equipped him with the knowledge and things which he was, was really needed for that. So he's got that. I mean, just not him. Like we have, as I said at the beginning, we have touched 270 people this year successfully, who have been like placed and have just got their dream jobs or whatever they or just have kind of started on working on that on their journey successfully and have got breaks, successful breaks, within their sectors. So without delay, I think we'll just quickly just touch on our pedagogy, Charantan. I mean, do you want to shed some light on this, please?
Yeah, I can definitely talk about this. So I think in terms of the courses that we do at Agile BA, I think the great part of our success story is the pedagogy and the way in which we impart knowledge, right? I think gone are the days when theory-based PowerPoints would do the trick, right? I think there is a growing need in the industry to be hands-on, and that's what me and Sandeep are as well. So we are very much hands-on. We are not just people managers. We are absolutely content-driven, contributors, individual contributors who can play the role of managing teams as well, and even large teams. but it's very important that we actually know the fundamentals, which is why what we do is we do case study based workshops, right? So in all of our curriculum, whether it is the PfMP, the PgMP, whether it is the hybrid BA, which is our flagship course, I think what we definitely work on are case studies which we design ourselves. So there is a lot of time, effort, and energy which goes into this. You will not be able to Google the solutions, right? So the case studies would talk, for example, in themselves. And I think this is what comes out in the testimonials, Sandeep, right? And I think people whom we have successfully placed this year, I know that you were talking about this big score of about 270 people whom we have mentored in one course or the other. I think the big common thread which runs across all of these success stories is that our own experience, which is more than combined 35 years of experience that we bring onto the table,
Correct.
that gets rubbed onto them, right? Because we keep talking about sharing our own personal stories, we keep sharing them from our own experience, which is what does the trick for them in the interviews, right? Because the interviews are
Correct.
not easy
Correct.
these days.
And the motivation, Chirantan, we bring to the table. I mean,
Yes,
see, we just
absolutely.
don't do the, because we are very passionate. We're buzzing when we are in these trainings ourselves. We're just throwing ideas and just giving them lots of different thoughts of thinking about a topic. And I think that
Yeah.
makes a huge difference, right? Because
Yes.
see, if you want to stay close to the fire, you have to, or if you want to stay hot, stay close to the fire, right? And when me and Charantan, when we taught, we are volcanoes. So
Yes.
we definitely, you will be very, very, very hot with us. So you will be like a hot cake selling in the industry.
Yes. Plus, I think we also want to talk about these tools that we kind of teach in the curriculum, right? So I
Yeah, I
think
mean, I just wanted to say, I wanted to share a secret, Charantan. I mean, if
sure.
people, some of them might know it already. See, the big secret, like to get a good job or to stay in a good job or stay in a good role, is to, if you can be an individual contributor, if you can actually do hands-on stuff, guys. If you're a hands-on guy, people will not let you go easily. Okay, they might kick out a manager who is managing a big team and not doing any actual work. But if you are if you know the tools, if you know the techniques, if you know what can be done, if you can do the delivery just very, very hands-on, then you're safe. You're not going anywhere. But your manager might be kicked out. Who knows? They might not need anyone to manage. If you become more agile, like your team is like very agile and they do things on their own, they don't need a manager to manage that team, right? So I mean, I'll just pass you back to Charandan, just talk a little bit more about the tools, I think which we covered in our flagship.
I think the hybrid BA, for example, right? The hybrid BA is an amalgamation, which is our proprietary course, right? We will never have this course in the market, right? So this is AgileBA's brainchild, wherein we combine the CBAP curriculum, which is the Certified Business Analyst Professional, which is an IIBA, the flagship course from IIBA. Along with that, we've combined the PSM and the PSPO, right? So the professional Scrum Master and the professional Scrum Product Owner. And you would see when we talk about profiles whom we have mentored and how they are getting the benefit realization from these courses. But coming back to tools, if you just look at them, it's a sheer 50 plus techniques from IIBA that we cover, right? So 50 plus techniques from IIBA. We marry that up with very contemporary tools from the Agile world. So we talk about how do you create an Agile charter, for example, how do you do product envisioning, how do you do an elevator pitch map template, how do you use, for example, any of the business case templates. I think we talk about that. And then we use a whole host of UML techniques, right? So UML tools, right? So we use, techniques for use case mapping, techniques for entity relationship diagrams, etc., which is the bread and butter of a BA plus a product owner and a Scrum Master. Yes, exactly, BPMN.
Yeah. See,
So I think, of course, this.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry,
go on. Go on.
No, what I was saying that this is just tools from one curriculum, right? So when we talk about our different curriculums, it goes into a big universe of tools which are more contemporary industry focused.
100%. And see, guys, we didn't dream of it like, oh, we're gonna have course tomorrow and this will be an amalgamation of PSPO, PSM, and CBAP. it didn't occur in our dreams. However, we've seen the industry trends. Again, we're reading the industry, we're reading the job market, we're bringing out the best whatever is possible at this current scenario. If you come to me today, I would say this is the best. If you come to me 6 months down the line, situation might change, which we are already looking at, because I'll be talking to you about our 2 new hot courses which we're introducing in early next year, because that is where a lot of jobs will be going into that sector. Lots of jobs are getting created. There are people who there are not enough people currently as well. People can't hire for those current roles, and we are bringing up 2 more flagship courses early next year, and I'll show you in few more slides when we are at those slides, guys. Okay, I just briefly want to cover this, Chirantan. Like, people who have got this myth, like, how we are different. I would like to just actually show them and just compare us with the other way of teaching, or what are the other ways which are going on in the market, which are very traditional, right? At the top, we see the degree, a degree program, which is very, very wide, right? It covers a lot of things. It's like an overarching umbrella, but they just give you loads and loads of theories, and they don't tell you what you need to be doing in the industry. Okay, so it's very, very theoretical based. Second is the certification from any other provider apart from AgileBA. I'm just saying any other provider in the whole world. Okay, you can go and do your own research. Again, they just give you theory. They just read you slides. If a certification which is like a very old certification, maybe 5 years old, the slides have been given by the certification provider, whosoever is a body awarding that certification. They come and read you those slides, right? And sometimes they don't even give you a good examples. They don't even have those hands-on trainings done themselves. They haven't used those concepts. Okay, I don't know why people go to those type of trainers, right? Whereas, like, you look at our profiles, we have done, whatever we have achieved by doing ourselves. And we learned, right? We made so many mistakes which we bring to the table, right? And we tell you how to overcome those mistakes, like, so you don't make the same mistakes. The third way, which I see in the like US and UK market or European market, is a very popular one, is apprenticeship. People say, oh yeah, what, I will learn at the job, right? Again, it takes a lot of time. Okay, and they give you a hands-on training, a training which is taking a long time, but it's a very overarching training again. People who are, it's a training like you're doing, or you're working on a very particular one thing. Okay, and you become okay with that, like, after a while, once you finish the training, but you don't know how to scale up, how to get a better money. If that job role gets obsolete, you don't know any of those, right? There could be so many a number of things. I've mentored quite a few apprentices in my previous roles, right? I used to be an IT manager in previous bursts, where I've kind of mentored loads and loads of people. Coming 18 years old kid used to come and say, right, oh Sandeep, I would like to work in your team, as a first line IT guy. And they're still like what they are earning after I've spoken to few of them, like, in last few months. And they're earning like very, very average salary. Basically, they're nowhere near to even what I call a good salary within the UK market. They just on like 35,000 pounds, not even 40. They haven't barely touched 40,000 pounds. So that happens to apprenticeships, guys. Okay. Whereas the hybrid BA course, when we give you this thing, we just equip you with every single bit to launch you into that space, like an ISRO have launched all those rockets recently, right? So you ready with everything. You equipped with the latest knowledge, whatever is happening in today's market. If things are changing tomorrow, we are evolving. Me and Chirantan, we are changing our course. We are adding and deleting stuff from our course. We are writing these case stories. We're not giving you all these tools and just throwing at you with a lot of theory. We're giving it to you, and we're saying, go and bloody apply it within the training itself. And so we can make sure you can deliver. You're not going out there. It's a unique flagship course which nobody else is doing in the whole world. Okay, tomorrow this flagship course will be worth a lot of money. Okay, I tell you that, because this will become the industry trend. People will say, go to AgileBA course, because you're gonna be more hands-on, and company like it, right? Your boss will like it when you can actually do the job, when you can deliver. and he doesn't has to do and manage, you like they do at the moment. Okay, so let's move on to the next topic, which is our benefit realization. So these are certain examples, certain personas, which I will pass you back to Chirantan to shed some light on it. These are some of the live people which we have trained from an analyst profile, guys. So analyst or somebody who is starting out as a BA or as a PM to an executive director level. Okay, and these are global profiles, right? So Chirantan, please.
Thank you so much, Sandeep. So I think we are going to talk about these profiles, representative profiles whom we have mentored. And deliberately, we are showing you people from across different levels, right? So we're going to start clockwise from left upper corner. So this guy right now is a COO in Israel, is a PfMP whom we have mentored. So PfMP is the highest certification from PMI, which stands for Portfolio Management Professional. Now think about this, right? So this person is the CEO in a consulting firm, but prior to the consulting firm, this person was a board of director in a global education institute, right? So I mean that person is still looking for upskilling and reskilling, right? So this should give you an indication that there is no age, there is no kind of reason for you to upskill. You always have to keep doing that. Me and Sandeep are doing that as well. Now, as a result of our mentoring, what is the benefit realization? So the benefit realization was the growth in salary was 35% in the last 2 years, and presently this person is at 200K USD, right? So 200K USD is the annual remuneration that this person is getting in the industry. Now, if you look at our accelerators, right? So from the PfMP program, what did we try to give him, which is unique, right? Which is our unique value proposition. So one is two triple Ps, right? So along with me, there is another triple P who kind of joins hand. And with 30 years of experience, we are mentoring a person with huge industry experience. We give the best in class questions, which are more than 1400 questions. Usually, if you go to any other trainer, you would just get 300 odd questions. But there is a sheer depth and breadth of question bank that we provide. And the most important thing is that the networking and the CV enhancement bit, right? So the good part, Sandeep, is that we have some optional riders, isn't it? So there are certain riders which people can choose, which is why we give that flexibility to people. So this person actually chose the rider of the CV enhancement, right? So they took our expertise on the CV preparation. We kind of helped this gentleman out, and you can see the result for yourself, right? So I think that's going to be about that person on the top left. Now look at the the upper right corner. Now this person is an ED in London, right? So this person was an executive director in London, came to us, was already a PMP, to be honest, and wanted to accelerate the journey, right? So how can this person get more from the industry, right? Now, this person was a cost controller. This person was a program director for cross assets, which is more than one asset class like equities or rates, etc., at a global investment bank with 15 plus years of experience. Now, as a result of our mentoring, this person completed the PgMP on the first attempt. PgMP is by no means an easy accomplishment, guys, right? So PgMP stands for Program Management Professional. This person became a program management professional, received two job offers in UK with a growth of salary of 32%, and is today is at 190K. 190K USD is no mean achievement as well, right? Now, if you look at the accelerators again on the top right, along with two triple Ps mentoring, I think one of the biggest part in both PfMP and PgMP is the end-to-end application support, right? My own guys, let me tell you one industry experience. My own application for PgMP, remember Sandeep, got stuck twice.
Yeah, it got stuck twice, and we were like scratching our heads because see, we guys have fallen so many times, and that is what we bring to you, so you don't have to fall.
Exactly. So,
and we cracked it. We cracked it, and we cracked it for so many others after that. Successfully.
True. Yes. Plus, I think the optional rider in this case, which is again available for everyone, right, is direct referral. So this ED actually took the referral of her candidature in the market, which is where mine and Sandeep's networking also catapults them to a whole new height. So that also happened, and as a result, this person could change the job in the industry, right? Now, if you look at the third profile, which is on the right corner, bottom corner, this person is a BA and a PM. Now, we keep talking about these hybrid roles, right? This is one hybrid role, right? This is a direct evidence of that hybrid role in the UK market, whom we have trained. So, is the BA come higher PM is neither a pure play BA, neither is a pure play PM. So, this person plays out both the roles, right? So, this is how the companies are saving time during these recessionary times, right? So instead of employing a full-fledged BA, instead of employing a full-fledged PM separately, they amalgamate these two roles, right? So this person came to us. We've actually successfully completed his CBAP journey. We've completed his PSPO journey through the same hybrid BA workshop. The hybrid BA workshop is our flagship course, and PSPO is the professional Scrum product owner. And this person also became an Agile Analyst certificate, which is also an Agile certificate under IIBA, right? Now, what's the growth and what's the success story there? The success story is a whopping 55% growth in the last 1 year. And this person is at 160K USD. And we have done many such people. We have mentored many such PMs and BAs. Right?
Yeah,
so I think yeah, so I think I think Sandeep, you were saying that these are many of those people, and these are just representative persona, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it? And then sorry, you go first, Sandeep.
I think just keeping time in mind as well, Chirantan. I think we should move on from this slide.
Yes,
I would just wanted to cover a lot of important things for today's topic, because I know a lot of people couldn't dial in. I think they will be asking for this webinar, I'm pretty sure, because there a lot of people have kind of requested us this thing. So, I mean, post this training, right? I mean, this is the energy shift I was talking to you about, that look at this golden guy who was sitting in the crowd. So this is what that AgileBA training does to you. So you outshine everybody else in the crowd. And then when you start working in a company, look at the right-hand side picture. So you get that edge, you get that sort of curve growth, basically, because you obviously are equipped with the better tools and better knowledge, okay? And then what's happening in the industry. So obviously your growth is like, like a J curve after that, right? So we will just have briefly touch on these BA and PM industry trends at the moment. We'll be sharing these slides later on anyways. So this is the BA trend, guys, globally, which we have seen happening, from different areas, right? So like the different reporting areas, we have 40% people working in the solution space, right? They are like working either in IT, project management, 34%. These are the stats from IIBA, guys, okay? So this is not our homemade or home cooked stats. This is the industry stats which we have gathered for you, which you can have a look at it later on as well. I mean, I'll just briefly touch on just few points and then we'll move on. Otherwise, we'll be like talking about one particular slide for the next half an hour. So top industry where you can get a break or BA works is 27% is technology. People think all the BAs work in technical sector. That's not the case, guys. So 25% works in a bank with Chirantan, I think maybe in his building or something. Works for the UK NHS. I'm just joking. NHS is the biggest healthcare provider, by the way, in the whole world, guys. Okay, they spend £100 billion every year. So just just a piece of info. 7% works for the government and 7% in the other industry, basically. Okay, so and these are the top paying industry where BA works. So manufacturing is there, which is a top paying industry. People think the banking BA will be getting much more, so that's not the case, right? So these are the stats from the IIBA. Have a look at them later on. So let's move on to the next one. Right. So these are the core responsibilities, of BA or what BA normally do. BA business analysis, process development, project management. Sometimes, so you need to know a bit of that. Testing, obviously, which is you can't escape. Data analysis, product ownership, PO, organization development and training, Scrum Master and Agile coach, right? You have to wear that hat as well sometimes. So that's why that T-shape employee, guys, which Chirantan was talking about, the dual skills, right? This is not what we are saying or we are making it up. This is what the IIBA is saying. This is what the industry is looking for, because they are obviously more equipped than me and you to gather these stats. And the last not least is the business architecture, okay? These are some of the techniques which we use as a BA, and we cover these techniques in a very great details within our hybrid BA flagship program, which is conducted by Chirantan and Sandeep, right? So we will just have a look at these agile trends as well, guys, because see, along with the BA knowledge, you need to know the agile, right? Or you need to know one of the frameworks, which is like Scrum, basically, which is more widely used from agile. And these are some of the again industries where the agile practitioners work. 15% IT, business process management, project management, product ownership, change management, customer experience, data analysis, business intelligence, business architecture, data management, and cybersecurity. So gone are those days when agility was only up for software development. Okay, so we have kind of agile is covering, I think, every single industry at the moment. It's a buzzword in the industry. If you want to know more, come and talk to us offline. Okay, and these are some of the growths, right, which we have seen in the agile sector in last few years. So from 50% in 2017 has gone to 76%. So that's more than like 25% growth, guys. Okay, 25% have, in just what, in 4 years. So what do you think what would happen in next 2-3 years? So if you know this agile, right, which is in this so much in demand at the moment, do you think you will be unemployable? I mean, do you think you will not get that salary you're looking for? I doubt it, basically. Okay, so let's go to the next slide, and I'll pass you back to my friend Chirantan, who would be talking about some project management stats with us. So I think Chirantan, back to you, sir.
I think we've just taken a couple of geographies here. United Kingdom, where both of us are. India, I think, is where we get a lot of interest and students from in terms of our courses. So we've kind of covered these two markets. So if you look at it, we've kind of given you the 75th percentile if you are PMP and PgMP qualified, right? So if you're looking at PMP, you are kind of looking at the range between 60,000 to, let's say, 95,000 GBP annually in terms of the PMP numbers. Just as UK as a market. I think if you kind of look at PgMP and PfMP in comparison, which are more senior certifications, of course, the success is higher. The remuneration is comparatively much higher, right? So if you look at program managers and portfolio managers in the UK, I think typically they start at around 70,000 GBP. I think there are definitely people whom we know which go up to 220,000 GBP as well, which are great numbers. And if you kind of look at India numbers as well, you see that in the bottom, in the middle section in orange, there is a distinct advantage of doing PMP, right? So if you do not do PMP and if you, let's say, plus years of experience, you're, let's say, kind of getting 19.4 as a median, 19.4 lakhs. But if you're kind of PMP certified, you are looking at 30 lakhs and 30 plus lakhs, right? And this is again without the assumption that, or with the assumption that you don't know a lot of domain or you're not an expert in technology, right? If you are, if you know your domain, if you are having techno-functional skills, I think with project and program management, even in countries like India, we are talking about 50 plus lakhs as salary easily.
100%. Shall we move on?
I think that's all. Yeah.
Right. So let's have a look. So I'll just quickly give you a course sneak peek. We have already been talking about it. So what we cover, these are the topics which we are covering from IIBA as well as the Scrum modules, guys. So Scrum modules is from scrum.org, the PSM and the PSPO. Why we do from scrum.org? Because you only pay once, right? It's not like any other certification in the world which you have to renew every year or every 2-3 years. It's a waste of time. I've done a safe POPM certification, right? And I've been recently just charged a very, eye-watering fee for it, just for the renewal, right? I don't want to be paying, for my PSMs and PSPOs. That's why we chose that, just to try to be good with our students, right? Okay, so after this, I would like to just show you a next slide. It's a new flagship course, guys, because we were talking about the slowdown and where the market is heading, what people should be doing, which industry they should be looking at. So this is one of them, guys. We are bringing up this course, so stay tuned. And this is our new flagship course going to be our ESG course, okay, where we're covering about how the people or the industries are looking at the environmental, social, and governance side, okay, how the investors are investing, investors are very, very clever nowadays, guys. Okay, you know, they don't want to invest into something which is going to be hampering or harming the planet, right? So it's touching all the big topics, right? The climate change, the energy emission, the wasteful management, the resource depletion, right? The resource depletion. Okay, we are poisoning our own planet. Okay. Second thing is looking at the social piece, right? Social piece where we cover for the employees, the people who are working in that sector, like for the health and well-being, the building they're working in, how safe it is, the employee relationships, you know, how diversified you are as a company. You know, what is your impact on the communities? Are you contributing to the communities, or are you destroying the communities, right? How you are, the third piece is the governance, right? Which deals how the company is governed, okay? How the executive is getting paid, how much they're getting paid, what are the shareholder rights, what's the board of diversity, you know, is there diversity in their board of directors? And like, are they doing audits, structure audits? I mean, these are just some examples which are getting covered under the ESG, which is the hot topic, and I think people should be aware and should be talking about it in their own organizations. Okay, even if you're not aware, try finding out. This is going to be the hot topic for next few years. Sharantan, I think you're muted. You want to say something?
I just want to add one thing, which is a very interesting observation, Sandeep, that over the last 1 week in the UK alone, there have been more than 40 plus ESG jobs which have been created. Now think about it, just in 1 week alone, right? And we are talking about program managers, we are talking about project managers, we are talking about BA PM roles in just 1 week alone. Think about what is going to be the state of affairs in 2023, 2024. This is the hot topic for the industry coming up.
Yeah, ESG and the green finance, right? Green finance, we are bringing back to you, you know, along with the ESG. So green finance, as I touched to you at the very beginning, investors, young investors like me and Chirantan, who have got money hidden somewhere, you know, for investing, we are trying to be very, very cautious, right? We don't want to leave this planet in the more mess when we are gone from here for our young future generations. So we all need to be aware. We all need to do our fair share. And I think this is a very hot topic. And by just learning this and doing this, we're not only going to get protect our jobs, but we're going to be contributing back to the, you know, society, to our future generations. So guys, let's be serious. And I think let's have a look at it. The other thing which we are bringing down to you, just because of this recession, which is going to be the very, very hot for next coming good few years, is the Basel. I think if you're from banking, you know that, right? You know that it's an international regulatory accord, which has been introduced to set, it's like a set of reforms to design, right, mitigate risk within the international banking sector by requiring banks to they have to maintain certain leverage ratios, guys, okay? And they have to keep certain level of reserves capital on hand, okay? I think this has begun I'm not from the banking, right? So I think this was recently started again in 2009. After that, you know, I mean, it was done, Basel I came ages ago, back in 90s at some point. However, Basel, they kicked off Basel again in 2009. Post-market crash, because we were needing it desperately, right? So we try to avoid that next market crash. We're trying to avoid these kind of recessions. That's why Basel is another way which we can help us, our families, our future generations, you know. And it's still being implemented, right? As we know, and that's why we're bringing this course to you in the early next year. So if you stay tuned, and if you give us a reference of this webinar, because this is a hidden code, right? And if you come to us and say, Sandeep, Chirantan, you've introduced this course in that particular webinar, and you have given us an introductory offer of, let's not call it 27%. I was thinking of 27% discount because we touched 270 people this year. Let's make it 30%. So, right, for any of the flagship courses which we're going to be doing next year or this year, let's give them 30% flat discount if anyone wants to come and join. So these are the two hot topics. I will pass you back to my friend Chirantan just to have or just to give us a bit more detailed insight on this PfMP certification?
Yeah, I think PfMP, of course, is one of the apex or is the apex certification from PMI. This is the highest that you can go up to. I think there are less than 1,300 PfMP. So you are gold dust in the market once you kind of pass it out. And I think from my own experience, Sandeep, right, I think we've done a dedicated session on PfMP. We can kind of share that link with people who are interested. But I think within the 10 days that I kind of passed that examination, there were quite tangible benefit realization which came to me, right? So and I'm very happy talking about one or two of them. So the first one is that the PM of Global Institute kind of invited me to become part of their honorary London community chapter. I think they're only having about 10 odd members in the London community chapter. I think they were looking at profiles like me and yours, Sandeep, right, where we can kind of add value given our sheer breadth and depth of experience. I think that is a really big win. I think the second one was the jobs start coming to you. You don't really go after chasing the jobs, right? So I think there was
100%.
a director of technology, digital technology offer which came to me in the UK, of course, which I turned down because I'm not looking at startup organizations at the moment and happy with the place where I am. But I think the very fact that these jobs are coming to you in this recessionary time, I'm talking about just 3 weeks back, especially by US and UK slowing down. I think that's going to be these certifications are going to make you stand out, right? So and I think this goes back a few days back. I think one of my friends who's a risk professional, Sandeep, and I think we both were chatting about this, right? Now this person has got 12 plus years of experience, hasn't had any standard industry certification, right? And when this person was stagnated and when he wanted to come out of the organization and said that, Chirantan, can you help, socialize my CV, which I did, of course, with a very wide network of community that we have here. I think the one or two observations which came back was the profile seems to be senior, but is this person really standing out? Yes, this one, right? So
this if you're standing out or not, that's why I brought this picture out for you to help you out.
Correct. Exactly. So how do you stand out from the crowd, guys? This is the way you upskill, you reskill, and then I kind of let the market come to you rather than you chasing the market. Let the market come to you. I think that's a big thing, right? In terms of going to PfMP,
and
and
that
of
is
course,
the only way, that's the only
yes,
way, guys. I mean, there is no other way. You go and keep on chasing. If you haven't got the right skills, if you haven't got the right sort of experience in your CV, there are a lot of people like you. People.
yeah.
The market is full at the moment. It's flourished. It's stagnated. Okay. So there's
Plus,
no
I
other way.
think there are a few other things, right, Sandeep? I think when we talk about PgMP and PfMP in the same breath, I think even for PgMP, we have our unique proposition, which is the application support, the very sheer depth and breadth of the question bank. I think we make a big term guarantee here that if you are able to do these 1,200 questions which we provide to you, I think you've almost cracked the exam, right? I don't think there is a single person who's come to us for mentoring who has not really crossed that line, right? The important thing is, I think, Sandeep, we talk about this is the next step after procrastination is success, right? So it's very easy to fall prey to complacency, not get that things done, but it is very important that you come to us. You half the battle is done there. But you also look at what we are saying and take it seriously, right? So people who take it seriously definitely get the results out of that.
100%.
Yeah, I think that's all from PgMP.
Right. I'll just briefly touch on these other programs which you're doing, guys, for techno-functional BAs. So we are covering in depth the SQL, right? So we it's an advanced SQL course which we're doing, where we're covering all these hot topics which can make you a successful BA if that's what you're looking for, being a data BA or more techno-functional. Let's have a look at the Python one, because Python is again like it's again a hot topic, okay? But don't get me wrong. If you mention Python, and you apply for a job, sometimes they kind of advertise as a BA job. However, when you get into the interview, they'll start asking you questions for developer standard, because they want you to work as a developer, okay? And it's up to you whether you like to work as a developer, whether you've done development before or not. I would say no to it. So when you're positioning yourself as a BA, and if you're a BA like me who has never done coding, I would just tell him very politely, sorry, I know Python, however, I can not do coding, right? I can just only play with data and do other bits and bobs like whenever needed as a BA. So, right, okay, these are the topics which we're covering in the Python. And last not least is the Power BI, right? Power BI is, we know that it's a data visualization tool which has been used by a lot of big industries, and people are always looking for data BAs or BAs who have this skill of presenting the data in a meaningful way, and into people who are especially into reporting, and also that the senior stakeholders can make some meaningful decisions very easily by visualizing what's happening in the Excel sheet. Because they don't know what the Excel sheet is saying, right? So any questions so far? And if you want to share your experience, you just, the stage is yours.
Yeah, I think we are at time, Sandeep. So I don't think we'll be able to kind of take a lot of questions, but I think our contact number is there. Our emails are there in case you want to kind of reach out to us. Just one thing before we wrap up, Sandeep. I think even during these recessionary times, I think we've seen that these are the months, right? So we are almost October is behind us now, right? And November
Correct.
and December is right in front of us. I think this is the time when the organizations are doing their budgeting season. They are kind of doing the budgeting for the next year. This is also the time where in certain roles, of course, not in my role or your role, maybe Sandeep, but in many roles, which are very commonplace, you would have a lean patch, right? That lean patch is because November and December is coming very near, which is Christmas time. People would want to go on vacation. That's traditionally the time when we have seen the most number of trainings getting done, right? That's when the time
100%.
when people should really focus on reskilling and upskilling themselves. So our earnest request would be, as a result of this particular webinar, it should only motivate you to come to us. Sandeep, you've kind of announced a huge discount. That is even more reason why people should go in for that training. And last but not the least, don't become prey to the competition, because when you kind of come back next year, so let's say you're kind of coming back to in February, when after the change freeze organizations open up more roles, there will definitely be much more competition. To
Competition,
become that gold person,
yeah,
it will be more difficult.
exactly. That's the only way to go forward. I mean, see, we have seen people who have kind of come to us after they have done courses from the other institute. I will not name them. These are very big institute and lost money. Okay, and we have got this on recorded webinars or recorded, like they've given us feedback as well, that I've been to such and such institute where I've kind of squandered a big amount of money, and I've never, it didn't lead me anywhere basically. So don't just fall prey, okay? Right? If there, you don't even have to come to us. If you're just that well equipped and you're very much focused, you can go to Udemy or maybe on YouTube and learn it yourself. However, if you want to save all that pain of like going through and learning hard way, then there's nobody else in the world like AgileBA, right? Because we are the one. You find us anybody who's doing the same way with the same passion, does the same thing, write down their own case studies, and it's an open book case study, and we change these things. If anybody is doing like this in the whole bloody world, I will give you, bring it to me. I'll give you £100 from my side. And if you can't bring it, any of such examples, then don't forget us. Just come to us, recommend us, right? Let's support each other. Let's be there so that we can keep bringing you the next best content available in the market around change management, around any of your hot topics which are bothering you within this change management sector. Come and talk to us. We are always here to help you. And then we don't leave you, right? We work as an industry mentor. I mean, people, you go to various universities, various institutes. You can't talk to the trainer after you finish the training. Whereas we talk to you, we answer your questions. We are there. We provide you that cushion so you don't fail, right? If you take one step, our promise is to take 2 steps with you. And that is what those 270 people have done with us. They believed in us. They took action, and that is the difference in you and them. All right. So on that note, I would say thank you for tuning in. And if you have any questions, you know where to reach us. Thank you, Chirantan, for your time. And I will see you in our next webinar. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye.